This is Kristen Rozicki, and I'm the owner and trainer of Vandalia. I bought Veda in October of 2018 from Hannah Williams out of Kansas. I ended up seeing a Facebook ad and absolutely fell in love with the Phillies canner. So I actually ended up buying her sight unseen. And the first time I saw her was when she was being delivered. Hannah had already spent a lot of time saddle breaking her, long lining her, and lunging her, and had sent her for some professional training in September. I'm based in Barrington Hills, Illinois, the majority of the year, and I spend my winters in Aiken, South Carolina. When Veda came to me, it was already late fall, early winter, which can make the weather a little bit inconsistent and hard for riding. We did do some light arena work, but I spent the majority of October and November ponying Veda. So here she is going down the roads. We also utilize the field next door. It's a great way to get the young horses out and give them a little bit of exposure. I think it also helps keep their world a little bit more interesting. So this is her here in the middle set. She's in the maroon cooler. This was a snowstorm in November. It's a great way to keep a little fitness on them as well. And then for December, she was pretty much on vacation until we got to Aiken in mid-January. In my experience, one of the best things about getting a horse that's coming from a small breeding program is they tend to come to you with only good experiences. Veda is incredibly trusting and easy to work with. She's also innately very brave. So here we are in Aiken. I'm back to lunging to get her back into work. And I have her just hopping over the small blue tarp here. As you can see, she doesn't really give it much thought, which is a great quality. From here, I'm just getting her more broke to walk, trot, canter, just basic aids, steering, stopping. I really am quite excited about this horse. As you can see, she's got 3 very nice gaits. She has one of the best brains on any young horse I've ever dealt with. She's very, very laid back. As much as that's a good quality, it's probably also one of her more challenging qualities. She's not the most forward thinking horse I've sat on. So she occasionally will get a little bit sulky about the gaits, which I think is pretty common in a young horse. She also can be just a touch herd bound, nothing horrible, mostly just testing her boundaries. It honestly doesn't bother me too much. I think in the long run, it's good to have a horse that is smart and thinks a little bit for themselves. This is us jumping our first couple fences under saddle. You can see she definitely starts off just a little bit awkward. She wants to jump up kind of high and then land in a little bit of a heap. So repetition is key with young horses. I just kept coming to the same fence and encouraging her to land and move away from the fence. And you can see by the third try, we had a much better jump. So the farm that we stay at here in Aiken has some of the most amazing trails right off the property. So here we are back ponying, and I'm using Lucky, who's an older hunt horse, as the pony horse. We've got some great kind of tadpole cross-country fences that I'm actually able to use Lucky for to introduce her to. So she's very trusting and kind of willing to follow Lucky wherever he goes, which is great. And overall, we had a great first experience showing her her first fences here. So this is a couple weeks later. I'm on her back, and we're back in the same area, jumping the same fences. And for her first time really doing this by herself, you can see that she wasn't too bothered by anything. My goal isn't to necessarily challenge her very much. At this point, I'm just trying to build her confidence. So this is her first real cross-country school. We ended up doing quite a bit more than what I was expecting to do. Once again, she's pretty game. So I kind of started off with some small jumps, obviously keeping things low enough that if she were to take a peek at anything, I felt comfortable just kicking her on over it. It's very important that they realize that they need to get to the other side. So the jumps have to stay low enough in order to make that happen no matter what. The more I continued schooling her, kind of the braver she became, started to kind of understand the job. So I'm heading down to the water here. We certainly started out by just letting her walk through the water, and I did have another horse handy so that if I got stuck anywhere that I could use that horse as a lead. Luckily, she's pretty happy to go ahead without that lead horse, but anyways, I was fairly impressed with her at this point. And this is going to be the conclusion to kind of this month's edition of Vandalia, and hopefully by next month we'll be heading to our first show together.